Ladies and gentlemen, Behind the Line proudly presents to you another exciting edition of The Woke! Turning on the woke. This episode is brought to you by the Beta Male Battalion. Are you a male birthing person looking to get in touch with your feminine side? Are you living in a draconian state where bathrooms are still gender specific? If you are looking to get rid of your miniature stallion, contact the services of the Beta Male Battalion. The Beta Male Battalion offers exclusive services to men looking to redefine masculinity. Are you desperate for a date with women like Mina Kimes? We have dating experts that will teach you how to properly woo a woke woman. Turn off the football, put on a dress. Let the experts at Beta Male Battalion teach you the rest. Apply today at redefiningmymasculinity.com. Oh, CNN is calling out the campaign of Cam Harris again. You know, I'm starting to get this feeling that some in the mainstream media, they don't fully believe in Cam Harris. The polish seems to be fading off the turd. The gimmick is becoming stale. You could even make the case that Cam Harris, she's not even the biggest star at her own convention. Matter of fact, Cam has been completely overshadowed this week by the star power of Barry Obama and the Admiral of Adultery, Sir Billy from Clinton. Well, KC, what about Timmy Walz? Timmy's a huge star! Timmy Walz? Most people wouldn't recognize Tim Walz if he was in a photo lineup with anonymous players from the WNBA. This entire campaign from Cam Harris, it has been nothing but an illusion. It's all smoke and mirrors. They are desperately trying to hide the fact that Cam is arguably the most radical candidate who has ever run for president. Over the past few weeks, I have been wondering who Cam Harris is trying to appeal to. She can't be appealing to undocumented migrants. Cam had a massive wall built outside the United Center in Chicago to keep people from having access to the arena. As it turns out, Cam is only against border walls when her safety and her security aren't being affected. She can't be appealing to middle-class voters. Thanks to the policies of John Biden and Cam Harris, inflation, it has decimated the income of the middle class. And if her price controls are implemented, it is entirely possible that the middle class will no longer exist. So, who is Cam Harris appealing to? According to CNN, Cam Harris is trying to appeal to a certain demographic that unfortunately seems to be growing here in America. According to CNN, Cam Harris, she is appealing to weak men. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Last night, CNN, they had their biggest stars covering the DNC. Well, KC, are you talking about Wolf Blitzer? Woof, woof, woof. No. My inside sources told me that Wolf, he is busy this week attending the Westminster Dog Show. Since Wolf was unavailable, CNN, they presented the all-star panel of Jake the Bongo Tapper, Dana Bash, and another panelist who is unknown to anyone outside of her immediate family. Somewhere between Johnny Legend butchering a Prince classic and Timmy Walz taking the stage to vanquish the energy from the arena, CNN was asking the same question that we've been asking. Who is this campaign appealing to? Dana Bash, she started talking about Cam Harris and her utilization of Doug Emhoff, and Tim Walz. Well, KC, who in the hell is Doug Emhoff? Well, according to his bio, Dougie is the first second gentleman in the history of the United States, which is just a ridiculous way of saying he's married to Cam Harris. Now, I don't know too much about Dig. Actually, I don't know anything about him. On the surface, he seems to be incredibly boring. Last night, there were all these signs at the convention. Coach Walz, yes we can. Orange Man bad! There were all these signs that represented certain people or certain phrases. What kind of creativity did Dougie come up with for his sign? Check it out for yourself. Now, as you can see, Doug, he just magnified his name tag and he made it into a sign. Then, he gave the damn thing to Timmy Walz. So throughout the night, everyone thought Doug was Tim and Tim was Doug, because no one knows who the hell either one of these dudes are. Last night, Dana Bash was talking about Cam Harris and the men in her life, Timmy and Dougie. Dana Bash was explaining the type of men that Cam was appealing to by utilizing this duo of new age masculinity. Watch for yourself.
Trying to put forward male figures, Tim Walz being one of them, Doug Emhoff last night, who can speak to men out there who might not be the sort of testosterone-laden, gun-toting kind of guy who wants to listen to Hulk Hogan and the kind of players that came out at the RNC, or might want to listen to that, but also, in addition, understand that it's okay in 2024 to be a man comfortable in his own skin who supports a woman.
You could tell that Dana Bash was trying really hard to be careful. Maybe she was trying not to piss off her bosses at CNN. Perhaps she was trying not to offend Jake the Bongo Tapper, who was sitting right next to her. But either way, Dana Bash was being careful with how she described this, but I'm sure you understood the sentiment of the message. What Dana Bash basically said was, Cam Harris is trying to appeal to weak men. I believe she used the term low testosterone. I thought this was incredibly interesting coming from a woman. If a man said this, if someone like Jesse Waters called this out, he would just be accused of toxic masculinity. Oh, he's such a traditionalist. How could someone with a gender-neutral name like Jesse fail to understand the concept of modern masculinity? But when a woman says this, it's coming from a completely different perspective. I thought this was interesting because it shows that you can't change biology. Most women, not named Mina Kimes, they are naturally attracted to strong men. Now, I'm not saying you gotta be King Kong, but most women are attracted to masculine men. The Cam Harris campaign, they are trying to present what they call a different kind of masculinity. We used to call it beta males. Now, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I just got the feeling that Dana Bash doesn't find this new age masculinity attractive. You know you got serious problems when CNN is questioning your masculinity. One of the classic signs of a beta male, they are constantly trying to prove that they're not a beta male. Or in the case of Tim Walz, Mina Kimes, she claims that he is trying to show a different side of masculinity. Now, me personally, I didn't know there were different sides. I thought you were either masculine or you're not. But in order to show his toughness, Tim Walz, he had his former football team introduce him at the convention last night. It was supposed to be one of those moments where manly men were supposed to relate to Tim Walz. I guess they think they've already captured the votes of the new age men, so now they're trying to capture the vote of the traditional men. There's just one problem, one tiny problem here for Tim Walz. I cannot think of a toxically masculine male in this country that can relate to a dude who hands you a tampon when you ask him to bum a cigarette. I can't think of a toxically masculine male in this country that can relate to a dude who points you to the women's restroom when you ask him for directions. According to the latest Rasmussen poll, Trump, he's got a 10-point lead on Cam Harris. Now, I had one of my long-term viewers email me last night questioning the legitimacy of this poll, he was claiming, and rightfully so, that Rasmussen, they tend to lean towards the right, which is true. That's true. And Donald Trump having a 10-point lead, it does seem a bit drastic. 3 or 4 point lead, I could see that, but a 10-point lead in a national poll, it just seems like a lot, even though he's running against Cam Harris. But at the same time, most of the other polls that are conducted, they are done by woke media outlets. All those polls, they've got Cam Harris leading the Trumper by 2 or 3 points. Rasmussen, they have Trump up by 10. More than likely, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. But here is something else that I thought was interesting. Normally, when a presidential candidate has their convention, they see an increase in their poll numbers. Now, it might only be a slight increase, but they still typically see an increase. That has not been the case with Cam Harris. Now, in her defense, she has yet to speak at the convention. Hell, she wasn't even there the first 2 nights. Now, I don't understand that strategy because Cam, she allowed herself to be completely overshadowed by the Obamas. Maybe she was sparing herself the embarrassment because she was going to be overshadowed either way. Polymarket, it is a decentralized market prediction platform that allows users to place wagers on political events. As of yesterday, over $600 million had been placed on the election between Cam Harris and Donald Trump. Now, full transparency, I have no idea how this site works, so take this information for what it's worth. However, I do know how sports books work. If the books are taking heavy money on one side, they typically adjust the odds to balance the wagers. For example, let's say the Chiefs are favored by 3 points against the Saints, and 90% of the wagers are coming in for New Orleans. The book, they may adjust the line to 2.5, then 2, then 1.5. Going into the convention Monday night, Cam Harris was receiving 53% of the wagers on Polymarket. As of this morning, it had completely flipped. The Trumper is now receiving 53%, while Cam Harris, she has dropped 8 points to 46%. What does that mean? I have no idea, but maybe, just maybe, the people at Polymarket who are betting on Cam, they are starting to lose faith in her. I really don't know. You tell me. Also, what did you think of Dana Bash calling out the Cam Harris campaign for appealing to low testosterone men? If that is what they're doing, do you think that strategy will work? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.